the fire, I am burning brighter, roaring like the sun, God and the world.
I'm Joy von Spain from Eye of Nix and To End It All. So it could be because of where I live. I don't feel that I've experienced a lot of setbacks because of my gender, personally. I do know that early on in working in music, I would just be the person to go over and talk to the sound person or talk to the front of house person and introduce myself right away and just start talking about our technical specs and what's needed and that sort of thing. And I feel like that possibly disarmed any potential snags with someone not understanding who I am and what I'm there to do. I will sometimes hear of other women having really negative experiences with, oh, are you the merch girl, or whose girlfriend are you? And I just found that just a really quick, as soon as you get there, just go over and talk to somebody right away about something technical. And usually that will set that aside. I realize obviously that's not going to solve all the problems out there. But that's just something that I think has helped me. So when I was very young, I had an accident with my hand and I'm missing part of one of my fingers. And when I decided a number of years ago that I wanted to start playing guitar, I've just kind of did like an alternate tuning, and I've just learned how to play in my own style and kind of made it work for me. And but I'm unable to really use my middle finger on my fretting hand except on the lowest string. So over this last year during the pandemic, I've decided to start looking for ways that I might be able to overcome that, either by swapping fretting hands, or working with a surgeon, or looking into some kind of prosthetics. And so it's been really interesting. Some of those things were off the table, but I'm looking at potentially working with a light prosthetic right now. And I'm curious to see if that's going to help me overcome sort of a little bit of a plateau that I feel like I've been reaching with my writing. So I feel like anybody out there who has a minor injury like that, or some sort of a, who's differently abled in that way, I feel like, I hope that you won't let that stop you from trying, because even with what I've experienced with my hand, I've still learned how to play piano and learned how to play guitar, and I think you can too. There's one band, American band called Ludicra. They're no longer together, but I think they were together for about a decade. And when I first saw them play live here in Seattle, I was so impressed with, I knew that I really liked their music, but I didn't realize how much of an impact it would have on me to see them play live, because Christy was such an amazing guitar player and Lori's an amazing vocalist. And seeing them it really showed me what it was like to see some extremely talented and powerful women on stage in that specific genre, and really inspired me to want to start a band of my own, because up until that moment, I think it just never quite hit me like, this is something that you could do. It's not like I didn't think I could. It's not like I didn't think that it was possible. But I think sometimes until you really see that person that you identify with up there, that's kind of when you make that connection, And I've been involved with other kinds of music, and I've been on stage plenty of times. But it just really opened up my mind to the possibilities. And so I would definitely say that that they were a big influence on me, especially in that regard. I don't know. I think honestly, just recording our last Eye of Nix record would probably be the high point for me so far. The whole experience of writing it and working with our band in its current form, and the recording process, working with Michael Zek, working at the studio that we were, Soundhouse. And honestly, the visual art that we've been collaborating with Autumn Nocturna on for the last couple of albums, I feel extremely proud of that as part of our whole concept. And I feel like putting out an album like that is something that I've really wanted to do for a long time. And so I consider that to be probably my my happiest achievement in that regard. So sometimes when I've heard this question discussed in the past, a lot of times people will say, you know, it doesn't matter if you are terrible at what you're doing when you start, you just have to pick up the guitar and start, or you just have to try to start singing or whatever. And I think that works for some people. Some people are just need that little encouragement to just pick up something and start doing it. But for other people, for other young people especially, but people of any age who would like to start beginning an artistic journey, I think sometimes some structure is good. And I think if you're unsure of where to start and how to get going, like you're not even exactly sure how to hold a pick, or you're not sure anything like that, you know, obviously looking for some sort of instruction just for your beginning stages, I think is a great idea for a lot of people. And whether that's taking a few lessons, or whether that's watching a lot of, you know, instructional videos, or talking to a friend, or asking someone that you admire in the community, hey, do you teach at all? Or, you know, I think not being afraid to reach out to others in the learning stages is extremely important. That's my personal feeling, and that's how I learned when I was younger. So I also feel that when you've progressed in your path to a certain point, a lot of people think that it would be embarrassing to ask for help, or to ask questions of other musicians that you know. And I think that that's a very weird and kind of narcissistic way of going through life. The idea that you have to be this auteur who just spontaneously comes up with every idea yourself, otherwise it's not genuine. And I totally disagree with that. I think that consulting with your bandmates, talking to other musicians that you're friends with or that you admire, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. And I really do wish that more people would do that sort of thing. I think it would foster a much more I think it would be a more interesting musical landscape, personally, if people would talk with each other more about their own creativity.